We're back at the gap in the ditch, and we have a new device that should help stabilize the camera so you're not seeing all that jerking movement. Here's that clematis Princess Diana just flowering on this side, and we'll move now down into, as we call it, the North Field. So we have that. Let me see if I can get this. We have that contorted hazel there that's just beginning to kind of come back to life. And then in the background you have the hosta, blue hosta, the flowering Alchemilla mollis, lady's mantle, and then the yellow Lysimachia behind that. And let me see if we can get that to come up a little bit. Okay, cats meowing in the background. So we have our meadow over here to the right, and if I can get it to go up there, and then the path down there. So the stream is, so we'll follow the stream down. Actually, but we'll go from the other side of the stream. So we'll just cross a bridge here over the water, and we'll come up again. So this is the Castletownshend myrtle, and it's full of flowers this year. Let me see if I can focus in on those. No, I can't, so I'll just go in on them. You'll see that there are lots and lots of blossoms developing there. So that should be full of flowers in, I think it's kind of late July, August. Okay, let's turn. Oh, this thing has a mind of its own, this new camera. Okay, so we'll go down along the stream. So we've got the mimulus, which is the yellow flower there, and then the Alchemilla mollis, and then a hosta here. So we'll follow that down along. There you've got that. The Japanese maple with the kind of red bark. There are cats under my feet here, so if you hear a squeal, you know that I stood on one of them. The white flowers there are dianthus or carnations, and then the variegated hosta there that you can see there and there. This is their best year so far. They came from the loch, and they're really coming on this year. Okay, down this direction we have the pond. I'm going to try going the other way. Okay, here's an astilbe, and you can see that lovely flower on it. And then I'm going to come in and focus on this lily that's down here. And you can see a kind of an unusual flower and the trefoil leaf. And then we have a cat who's afraid of the camera. So he's just run away. Let's see if this one will be equally afraid. No, she's not. She's just curious, having a good look around. Okay, let's come back to the path. Down in the pond itself, there's a water lily that has just appeared. The flower has just appeared in the last couple of days. Sorry, we're discussing how to enlarge or not enlarge. We haven't figured out how to use this thing fully yet. But you can see the water lily flower there. It's yellow, and then a big pink one beyond. So let's see if that cat will let us see him again. There he is. Very curious to see what's going on, but afraid of this thing. Okay. We've got the more and more of this Lysimachia. It's a fantastic thing and very spready, as you can see, but great ground cover. Hydrangea there. Oh, wrong direction. This is a thing called Ligularia. And before I pass it, we'll just come back around here. These are the hazel trees, and we just noticed earlier that there are hazelnuts growing on those. So those were the hazel trees that we bought because they have the truffle spores at the roots. And hopefully now they have hazelnuts as well. More of that Ligularia, different kind with the big leaf. And then Mrs. Mannix's horse chestnut tree. Down here in the foreground, let me see if I can, yeah, there we go. We have Dicentra, which is the pale thing. It's basically finished, so it's losing the green from its leaves. And then this big leaf thing is called Rodgersia, and this is the flower that goes with that. On the other side of the pond there, you can see primulas and my favorite one, that orange one called Trollius. And those yellow primulas are scented and they're beginning to spread, which is great. And then that big white thing on the other side of the pond is a Persicaria. They often have pink or red flowers, but that's a white one. And then we have this grass here that the cat is playing with. On the other side here, we have the ground cover, the purple creeping thyme, and then the white one here. And then in between we have the cotton lavender, which is just about to flower. You can see an iris there that's finished. Let me see if I can, no, the other direction. I need to go. Okay, you can see the bigger water lily beyond there. And then the yellow one as well. Okay, so we'll continue on here. Just crossing the outflow from the pond. And then in this garden, or in this section over here, the purple thing is called a purple toadflax. And you can see it's a kind of purple haze there. And then we've got the walnut tree behind it, and the echiums here, which the echiums are just coming to the end maybe. Well, no, there's still flowers on them, so lots of bee activity there. Then we have that orange there is the euphorbia that's finishing, and you can see some of those Welsh poppies that we had lots and lots of them in May, and they're coming back there. Okay, this thing here we'll have to come back to later on, but you can see it's just beginning to open, and it's going to have lots of lovely spiky flowers on it, and we'll come back to see those in a few weeks when they're up and flowering. And then we have the quaking grass, which the cats love playing in, those new kittens, because they're shaking heads of grass. And then just to the left of that you can see the feverfew, which I remember writing about years ago, that it was used for its medicinal purposes, and hence the name feverfew. I think there's like the same ingredient that you get in aspirin, salicylic acid or something like that in it. Over on this side, we have the that lovely blue iris that's been flowering for a couple of weeks now. I'll just come back here so you can see how popular the quaking grass is. So we have that blue iris that's just finishing now, and then just to this side of it we have these lovely little bulrushes that are getting, like myself, fatter and fatter as the summer goes on, and I suppose soon they'll start to shed seeds. And then we'll just come back up in this direction. You can see the dahlias are just beginning to take off there, and here's this flower called Sisyrinchium pignose, also known as a bluegrass. I think it's an American plant, and that's spreading everywhere. And that brings us back up to the meadow, and all of these dahlias here will be just the ones we planted along here are all white, so they'll be up in another few weeks. And then the ones down by the toadflax that I just showed you, the purple toadflax, they're a mix of oranges and yellows and so on. So okay, we'll leave it there for the North Field.